Okay, so today I'm going to be working on a Suzuki Bearcat. Now, quick warning, never play with motorcycles when nobody's watching you. In fact, I got hit with one yesterday.
It fell over on you, didn't it?
Yep.
Because you were not being smart.
If you kick the kicker, it knocked it right off the kickstand, and next thing you know, whack.
Landed right on you, and you're too small to pick that motorcycle up, right?
You got a toe missing.
If that would have been the big motorcycle, you would have probably got hurt. Luckily, it was just a little one, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this is our Bearcat. We picked it up cheap, but it doesn't work. So we're going to have to work on it, right?
So, and it might be a real bear. Cat.
I don't remember what year it is. I think it's a 68 or something like that, maybe 65. I'll have to look it up. I don't remember what year it was. Might say on the headstock, I don't know. Let's figure it out what year it is. But we gotta have to do some work on it. So it needs some work. The headlight got no bolts in it. The speedometer is completely busted. That's we don't even care about that. We gotta get it running, right? So we gotta get it running. The carburetor is not on it right now, but someone was nice enough, I don't know if you can see that, was nice enough to plug the hole so nothing moved into it. And that's probably what saved this bike, right?
Yeah.
Because if they wouldn't have plugged that hole, mice or bugs or wasps or something would have moved into that and would have been a lot more trouble.
Another reason it's going to be a real Bearcat is because it has a funny shaped headlight.
Yeah, we'll worry about the headlight later. We can get it running without that, right? For initially, you might even just take the headlight off.
Yeah.
But these are neat because they're made for off-road and on-road, so you can use them on the street. The tires are more off-road than street tires, but check out the back sprockets. Did you notice these? Come around here and look at the sprockets.
Oh, one's smaller than the other.
Right, so one is designed for like a lot of torque and horsepower like a dirt bike would have.
Yep.
I don't know if I can get a good lighting in here. Their lighting's not great, and this little one would be more for like more cruising.
Let me go get a flashlight.
All right. Well, it's a barn. That's how they look. It's in pretty good shape, though. The rims aren't too terrible. Usually when I get bikes like this, the rims are completely rotted through, and you have to get new rims for it, but this isn't too bad. You can put the light on it, on the sprockets, so you can see the sprockets. There, you can see them better. Well, now your light's on the way, so you need to, like, there you go. So there's two sprockets on it, and that lets you change the way what you're going to ride it for, although you have to take the master link out. So there's a piece of chain in here. I don't see it right now, but there's a master link here, and then there's, oh, there. So shine your light right there. You can't maybe see it on the camera. There's a master link right here and a master link right there. And this section of chain would come out, and then that would fit that bottom sprocket, and you'd put the chain back together, and then you'd have more of a roadworthy bike rather than a dirt bike.
But where'd you put the extra chunk of chain in
I don't know, somewhere in your pocket or in a toolbox or something, I guess. I don't know.
Seems like there should be somewhere on the bike to
Maybe.
put it.
I haven't looked that much. This also has a neat feature in this fender. The rear fender comes off. It's missing a bunch of bolts now, but this part of the fender comes off because in order to change the tire or anything, you have to take this fender off, because notice it's all one chunk of frame. It's like a unibody frame. That thing right here is all one big chunk.
It's like it's got Mitsubishi tires on it. Isn't that an engine company?
Well, they make other stuff. So if you had to change this tire, you'd have to jock this all the way up and drop this swing arm, otherwise without that thing there, right? So that makes it easier to work on. So we got some work to do. It's got most of its parts, which is good. Usually we're missing some parts. Most of them are here. So we got the exhaust. That's probably an expensive part to replace.
You got the wrong seat, though.
Yeah, that's not the right seat. I don't have the right seat for it, but I think this one might be close enough that we might be able to modify it to work until we can find the right seat. But there's the unibody frame, the whole one-piece frame.
And check the oil.
It might not have any in it. I don't think there's a... Actually, it doesn't have any in it. The plug's missing. Can't have any in it. See this fill valve checker? See that dot right there?
Yep.
That would have a little lens, and it's clearly missing, so it'll leak out. We'll have to replace that too.
It stinks in there.
Yep, we'll have to replace that. So we don't have the right seat.
We need our seeing scope thing.
I don't think we do. We have the cover for the side engine that covers the oil pump. So that's in that box up there. Has all the pedals and stuff are all there. The kicker's still there. Our throttle cable's cut where the carburetor had to come off. See if I can find it.
The throttle operates the oil pump.
Yup, it's got a splitter right here. So those splits the cable. And what happens is it moves both this end for the carburetor and that end there for the oil pump all at the same time. So when you roll it back, it operates that, but someone has cut the the cable, the throttle cable. So we'll have to fix this. I don't think I can find a cable for this. So we're gonna have to make one probably, which shouldn't be awful, I hope. But yeah, we'll have to make one for it. Maybe we can just replace this part. I don't know if this connector here will come apart enough to allow us to work on it, or if we'll just have to start again with the kit, but we'll see. But it's all there mostly, right?
Yep.
It's just rusted up a little bit. And the nice thing about this one, we brought for a minute. The nice thing about this one is usually when I get these, they are seized up. I can't kick it over by hand, but it's not seized up. And I imagine that's because that cover they put right here, that cover up where they covered up the intake.
Yeah.
That's probably saved it. So, because wasps would have gotten there, or any kind of water or dust would have gotten there, and the plug is in it. If you leave these open, they get moisture and stuff in them.
Move the camera over.
So we're going to try to get this running without doing a lot of engine work. And if it needs rebuilt, we'll do that after we see what happens. Because we might start it up and it might just go,
yeah,
be horribly loud, right?
Yeah.
Well, we got lucky on the last one. Maybe we'll get lucky on this one too. Well, I guess not all the way lucky. We had to put a top end on the other one, right?
Let's move to the...
We still didn't have to. Well, let's look at the carburetor first. So here's the carburetor for it in the box. I couldn't find a new one of these either because it's got a really small end right here. So I had to get this one apart, but someone really beat the crap out of this. The slide in here, I don't know if you can see inside there. Yeah, kind of, maybe. Hold on, you gotta get the light just right. You didn't even get the light. There you go, hold the light still. Yeah, not very good, but if you look in there, if I could get the light, there you go. See all that brass at the bottom of the slide?
Yep.
Someone tried to pry this up because it got stuck, and they beat that slide all up. And on the top, they beat it up too because it was stuck. But we got it unstuck, and then I had to file all of those burrs off of that slide, but it does work now, but I'd still like to replace it with one that someone didn't beat all up, right?
Carburetor brand is Mikuni. Let me...
Yep, use a Mikuni carburetor. I don't think this actually goes to this bike, but it was in the box. We'll see. Maybe we will need that. Yeah, we just kind of got finished working on this one, right?
Yep. So it had a bunch of milkshakey, oily stuff in
Yeah,
it.
it had been out in the water, in the rain, and it got water in it, and it kind of filled the cylinder up with a little water. But we got it all drained out, we got cleaned up, and we put this new top end on it.
See back here, the master link. We changed the master
Yeah, we had to put a
link.
new master link on the chain. We got this new used cylinder head on it, right? But we
Yep.
put pistons and rings in it, and that wasn't too bad a
I
job.
think we even got a new, what is it
The
now?
petcock.
Petcock.
We had to change the
Thank
petcock.
you.
That was broken. But we got it all back together, and it's ready to go. We're waiting on a cable, which should be here next week, right?
Yep.
And then we can tune it up and get it running. Because it started up, and it ran, but then it would die. And I think it died because the carburetor was staying full choke. This has a starter valve in the carburetor, and I think it was running too rich and killing it out. But it did start and run. I almost got to ride it before it died, right?
Yeah.
But we got to get a cable, this cable right here, that goes to this carburetor. We need this cable, and I'm waiting for that to arrive, and then we can put it all back together and see if it'll run. But since we're waiting on parts, thought we'd look at this one. Because it's been sitting in the barn for about a year now, right? Coming up to temperature?
Yeah, it'll probably be a real Bearcat.
Yeah, it's going to be a real bear to fix, right?
Yep.
It's a pretty neat bike, though.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know if I can, let me see if I can zoom out. Ooh, but see if I can zoom out so you can see it. It's a cool looking bike. It'd be kind of neat looking. I think I'd like it if we ever get it to work. We'll see. Problem with these old bikes is getting the parts for them is kind of hard. We'll have to see what happens. I don't think the tank is rusty. I don't remember, honestly. Let me see your light. Hey, it's not good. It looks pretty rough in there. We might do something about that tank. We'll have to flush that out and see if we can get some evapor rust in there. Clean all that rust out. You don't want that to end up our carburetor, right?
Nope.
So we'll get some evapor rust in there,
Let me see.
slush it around, and see if we can get that to clean up.
Oh, you ain't gonna run with that.
No, we'll have to get that cleaned out, but we can get some evapor rust in there, sploosh it around some, and then let it set for a while, and that'll hopefully all come off there. And then when we get it running, we're gonna have to get some Suzuki emblems for it. We don't have any of those. Probably leave the dent. This cover does come off, but it might be hard to fix. So we might leave the dent in for now.
Plus, it adds character.
Yeah, it's just fine, right? There's one on this side too. Dent on this side of the tank too, right in the chrome, and then we need a cover for there too. But that's after we get it working, right?
Yeah.
Work on that after we get it running. First step, get it running. Waiting for parts for that one, and we probably gonna have to get a cable, throttle cable for this one. I don't think it's gonna do anything without that throttle cable.
Parts for it are becoming uncommon.
Well, it's gonna be, yeah, the problem with these things is the parts generally cost more than the bike, right?
Yeah.
So we paid for it, I don't remember, we gave for it 150 bucks or something like that when we bought it. But the parts are gonna cost us way more than the bike by the time we get it all done. But it'll be kind of neat. Maybe we go cruising around on the farm out here, around the country roads and whatnot.
Yep.
It might be fun. It's not like a real dirt bike. It'd be still something to put around on, right?
Yep.
If the motor runs. If the motor don't run, we'll have to think about rebuilding it maybe. That'd be a whole lot of videos to rebuild it though, right? And we'll get working on it. This one doesn't have turn signals like the other ones. We just need a headlight and a taillight. This TS100, we're gonna have to get turn signals for that.
Why does it need them?
Well, you don't need them out here in the country roads, but if you wanted to ride it on the road, you'd have to have turn signals on it. In Illinois, you got to have turn signals. If it came out with turn signals, it has to have them for the street use. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we'll ever run this on the street, but you know.
Did it come out with turn signals?
Yeah, you see where they went? Right here.
Oh yeah, right there.
Went right there with some, and then on the back, they went back here onto that part, and that's where your turn signals would stick out. But they usually get broke off because they stand out about, you know, like this far, and when you drop the bike like you did yesterday,
yeah,
it just naps them right off. So when you knock the bike over like you did yesterday, it'll break them right off. I don't think you broke anything yesterday when you dropped it though. I think it landed on this side. I don't think it hurt anything. And you didn't get hurt, so it's all right. We just got to be more careful, right? Think ahead, use your noggin.
Of course, the heart almost beat right out of my chest.
Well, you gotta use your melon, man.